This panel is going to be 100% unfiltered and tackle real topics like love, sex, careers, and other things that millennials struggle with as they try to establish their identity.
As writers, we can only tell our own truths and hope that resonates with the people who are watching our shows.
In our writer's room, a lot of times we'll talk about a situation and you think you might want to ask, well, what's the funny thing that you would do here? But I think in order to accurately represent women in TV, I ask the women in the room, what's the real thing you would do? And then we can make it funny later.
I love your point about, well, this is what television characters do. What would real people do? Because I think we're sick of that kind of simplistic kind of everything wrapped up with a bow or sort of over-dramatized.
I feel like it's all about relatability and reality. Like any real story about a man that's in real life, people are going to be entertained by it and relate to it because it exists. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's any type of one man or two. I feel like every man has his own thing to bring to the table, and it's whatever the story is surrounding it that makes that the leading person, if it's a well-written story.
I have unconscious bias that I have determined female roles in my mind from the way I was brought up in just society and culture, and to catch yourself and say, wow, I'm actually kind of writing a stereotype, or I'm actually writing a woman in a less empowered way than I'm writing the man.
Joanna, you wrote a book called Love Rules. Why did you think now was the right time to come out with this book? And how have the themes in the book inspired the bold type or vice versa?
Every medical study, every study at Harvard concludes the same thing, that the two most important things that will guarantee you a happy and fulfilling life are the quality of your relationships and who you love and who loves you back.
I think Jacqueline is a woman of power, just like Joanna, who inspires my character, who is also a mother, who is also a wife, who also has friends and a social life, but also happens to run a ship really, really effectively, and with integrity, and with kindness, and with respect.
I think it's important that people realize there are stories to be told about a man and a woman that have nothing to do with sex. I love Will They Won't They. It's fun, it's exciting. I've never had that chemistry in my life. I love watching it and pretending I have it, but that's not what this show is.
I sort of started reflecting on my life a lot, and I've sort of always had platonic female friends. And I remember being a young guy in high school, and if you're just a guy in high school and you have a platonic female friend, everyone's always like, you gotta hook up with her. I don't know, I realized that it's such a terrible pressure to put on a young man to try to sexualize every relationship you have.
Meghann, let's talk about Sutton. She has a few inter-office relationships on the show, right? And she is struggling between balancing those, but also being taken seriously.
I don't really know what my advice would be because I think I'm on this journey with Sutton and I think she's still sort of figuring it out. I think it's a really spectacular balance of saying this is what feels good to me emotionally and physically. I have love here with a person, but also being really ambitious and driven and hungry and having that desire to move forward in a career that you're passionate about is such a gift.
Hope that we see more shows and that trend does get picked up by the networks as well, and we just start seeing more real women on TV.